What's up, everybody? It's Nesquik, aka Kid Kupo with Kupokast. Just want to let you know about Anchor real quick. It's free. The creation tools are so helpful and allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. They also distribute your podcast to Apple, Spotify, and so many other places. You can make money with your podcast and you don't need any minimum listeners or fans. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. Check it out.
On? It's Kid Kupo. This week on the Kupokast, we are talking about mobile games. We're also talking about games that we wish were good that absolutely sucked. So, roll that intro. With me, as always, is the White Void, and he's in and out, but he's usually in Sweepy. What's going on, guys?
Hello.
So,
I love how, like, every other podcast we end up switching somebody out.
I know.
I think I've been in all the episodes except for one because life happened.
Life's a pain.
Last episode,
Okay,
got
Mr.
the
BC.
most views. They broke records, like 54 listed so far.
Mr. Meeseeks, excuse me? Princess Bride. All right?
Yeah.
Life is pain. Anyone who tells you otherwise is trying to sell you something. If you've never seen The Princess Bride, I'm disappointed in everyone.
Okay, I've seen it, but I just haven't watched it from start to finish because like stuff just kept happening.
You can rip that.
It was a great movie, though.
5 minutes, like I love that movie.
I want to see it from start to finish because I was like so intrigued into it.
It is a beautiful.
It's great.
What was our topic again? Mobile gaming?
Mobile gaming and
games that we wish that didn't fucking suck. And mine is The City NT, but I'll get more into that later. But I don't know. I've been playing War of the Visions lately.
Oh, is that the newer version of like Final Fantasy Brave?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's not too bad. It's just
like
Final Fantasy Tactics. But it's
the Brave Exvius one. It's not bad. Like, the gameplay is pretty solid. The storyline is pretty solid. How they tie in summoning like ancient heroes, quote unquote, or heroes from myth is part of their case. It's very similar to how Final Fantasy XIV handled in all the tie-ins, because a lot of the other games and characters from like previous games that pop up in 14 are from like stories, myth, legend in 14, and that's how they tie it all together. Like, Tactics is part of the world of 14 as an actual historical event in 14's history, and therefore tying in 12, since Tactics is set in the distant past of 12, and it makes it part of that world. The new mobile Brave Exvius game, which I've got on my phone, I need to remember the actual name of it.
War of the Visions.
War of the Visions. Yeah, so they do something very similar in the story, is that a lot of the heroes that your main character ends up summoning are characters from history, characters from legend, characters from just children's stories.
Like, I mean, I've played Exvius for a while, and I just lost interest and lazy.
I love Exvius. Exvius and Record Keeper are fucking two of my favorite games.
I love Record Keeper.
Yes, so do I. And this is why I love having a podcast, because all you do is say a video game name, and he goes in this huge, detailed analysis, and it's just fantastic to listen to.
That's because I have all of this Final Fantasy knowledge. I got to do something with it.
Yeah, so do I.
With Exvius, like as I was saying, like Exvius, time it updated for me, it just take forever, which was a huge freaking turnoff for me.
Well, Final Fantasy Record Keeper is different, and it keeps like the same kind of theming, in that the alternate worlds are just parts of one greater destiny, etc., etc. And it ties in with
more or less you're like,
huh?
It's like redoing the memories of each game, right? Like
and they're in this world they're records, but when you open the record, their world is as real as their own. That game did everything right. All the Bravest is just like a click button mashing thing with a Final Fantasy skin onto that.
We're gonna get onto that later.
my biggest disappointment with War of the Visions is completely different than my disappointment in like Brave Exvius or Opera Omnia or Record Keeper.
I played a little bit of that Opera Omnia, but it got old really quick.
It does. I mean, the gameplay and the visuals are like way better than Brave Exvius or Record Keeper. Record Keeper is very simple. It's like the Game Boy Advanced versions of the Final Fantasy games. It's simple with some animation, but War of the Visions did the one thing that I was hoping they wouldn't do in a mobile Final Fantasy, especially since it's so important to summon new characters. Their monetization system is absolute trash, and whoever came up with it should be ashamed of themselves. Because there are 5 other Final Fantasy mobile titles, all of them not the greatest monetization, but reasonable.
All the Bravest.
All the Bravest when it first came out was absolutely terrible monetization, because not only did if you had a limited amount of stamina, and if you ran out of stamina, you had to pay for it. Then your characters would perma-die, and then if you wanted new characters, you had to pay for new characters, and that either meant a lot of grinding or buying characters. Both were expensive. They patched that out. They changed all the Bravest. It's still basically like a cash grab with a Final Fantasy skin, but it's a lot cheaper now than what it was when it first released. War of the Visions, to get like a 10 pull, is like, when I checked it out and first tried it, it was like $20.
Wow.
Like,
oh shit, my bad.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to like cut everybody out, and it's just like, poor monetization practices are like the one thing that pisses me off as like a nearly 30-year-old gamer, because everyone understood this in like PS3 days prior. People put money into games they like. And some of us, like Final Fantasy fandom, the Castlevania fandom, Resident Evil fandom, we all do the same damn thing, right? We see Final Fantasy, we buy it. We see Castlevania, we buy it. We see Resident Evil, we buy it. Here's the trick. If your game is free to play, you bring in a larger group of people. But if you want it to survive, your monetization has to make sense. I'm not going to drop $50 into a game that doesn't engage me. And I'm not going to drop $50 into a game for random fucking loot. And I'm sorry for saying it like that, but I wanted Ramza in War of the Visions. And when Agrius showed up, I dropped every bit of crystal or lapis or magicite or whatever name you want to give this paid currency. Yeah, I think it's lapis. I dropped every single bit of lapis I could to try and get shit. I did not get Agrius. I did not get Ramza. I'm not necessarily saying it should be a guarantee every single time.
I mean, it's like a glorified slot machine. You put in money and you hope for the best, and it just randomly generates. It's basically glorified gambling, except you don't get anything in the end.
Yeah, no, but but it's different versus the others, which is what I wanted to tie it into. Record Keeper, the monetization isn't the best when you're buying the paid currency. it's still not bad because almost every single roll I've done for a character's weapon to give them a new limit break, I've gotten every single one of them. I have Agrius in Record Keeper max leveled, almost max trained, and I have like almost all of her limit breaks. Same thing with Celis. Almost the same thing with Terra. So my 3 favorite characters in Final Fantasy, I have almost all of their stuff. I have their alternate costumes, the ones that are available. It was fine. Go to Brave Exvius. I have a very high-leveled Agrius. I have a high-leveled Celis, who I raised from a very low-level character, which disturbs me that the base level for the Final Fantasy VI characters is so low. But yeah, I have them ranked up. I have them upgraded. I have equipment for Celis. I have equipment for Agrius. I'm not saying that it has to be a guarantee necessarily, quote unquote. But why is it that when I can roll 100 times and get nothing in War of the Visions, but when I roll 100 times in Record Keeper or I roll 100 times in Brave Exvius, I have the characters I want. I have the items I want.
That's the reason why I dropped Fate Grand Order, because that was a huge cash grab. And then
it was,
and they had like a character that I wanted, and I dropped everything, got nothing, just got a bunch of useless crap. I was like, yeah, this is a cash grab. And I just, boom, deleted it.
Here's the worst part. The monetization in Fate Grand Order is still better than War of the Visions. And
that's not saying much, isn't it?
I dropped money in Fate Grand Order because I know exactly what you mean. I had up to the point where I did it because my game encountered an error and I backed up my data. I saved my thing. I had my backup code. I uninstalled the game and reinstalled it to fix the error because that's what I was told to do. It wiped my data.
Oh,
I lost my account.
That's pretty bad.
I lost like $100+. I lost every single character, including all of the pre-order stuff, the beta stuff. I lost all of it. I deleted the game. I gave up. I quit.
Well, here's a game that I've shilled, like a mobile game that I shilled a lot of money from, but it's not like that anymore, sadly. And it's a guilty pleasure because I've been playing it since its release. Is Fire Emblem Heroes? It used to be.
Love that game.
I love that game. I still have that game.
Same here. But like when it first released, like you could get a bunch of free orbs, and possibly if you do enough summons, you get the characters that you want. Which for me, my main character was Lucina, and I wanted to get her. After a while, I eventually got her from just free orbs alone. Now, like they completely changed it, and now they have like this new FEH membership thing, and it's just like, okay, a little weird. I tried it. It was fun. I got a bunch of extra orders, but I don't think it's worth the price that it was. And it's just like when I go to summon for free orders, I don't get anything. I get nothing. I get a bunch of useless characters or a bunch of 3 stars. It's like, I don't want this. Like, what happened to? What happened to like the old days where I had a chance to get what I want, and if I didn't, I wasn't so upset. But now it's just like, that's a little disappointing because I'm dropping a crap ton of summons and I don't get nothing.
Because here's what changed, and I blame people like Konami for doing this. I blame Square. I blame Square Enix as a whole, I guess, because it's the same company now. I blame them for this, and I blame games like Farmville and Flappy Bird and shit like that. These companies know that if they put Final Fantasy in the name, they know we'll buy it. Even if it's not the best, even if it's honestly kind of crap, they know we'll buy it. And that's fair because we love that and we want to support them.
Final Fantasy 13.
I liked 13 for what it was worth. An example, Resident Evil 3 Remake.
Oh,
I know it's not. I know we're deviating, but that's my example. Resident Evil 3 Remake. $50 game launch, $60 game launch. I can't remember which one it was. I'm gonna go check the price. It's probably dropped now, but it was $60. I pre-ordered it. All right. And Capcom had an easy job. Half the game, it's $60. Okay. So half the game, all right, is set in Raccoon City. Well, the entire game, quote unquote. Half the game is set in Raccoon City. Easy palette swap, asset swap from Resident Evil 2, right? Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Enemies, all you have to do is add in a couple of variations on zombie outfits. You know, add in like well, the whole point was that 2 and 3 happened at the exact same time.
Exactly.
3 starts.
3 was a little sooner.
3 starts, 2 starts in the middle, 3 ends after 2. 2 literally takes place between the beginning and end of 3. It was an easy job, okay? Easy. It has half the content of 2. It has no bonus modes besides increased difficulty.
Or 5 DLC.
If you didn't pre-order the game or bought the costume pack, Carlos has no outfits. I'm not even joking you. He has 0 outfits unless you pre-ordered the game or paid $3 for the classic costume pack. Carlos has no outfits.
Jill was a cash grab.
Jill has 1 outfit, and it's an asset swapped outfit from Resident Evil 1 Remake on PC. They had the easiest job. It doesn't even have the Mercenaries game mode that made Resident Evil infinitely replayable from the third game, starting from the third, well, technically starting from second, but really starting from the third game with the Mercenaries mode. They cut that. It has half the content of 2. It can't even manage to be consistent with its story when they have years of games, okay? They have the 1 remake and the 2 remake. 1 remake isn't different from the original game. 2 remake is. 3 remake, all it had to do was follow the story, follow the plot, and just give fans something simple. What did they do? They gave us a random Dead by Daylight inspired 4v1 non-linear PvP game, which is a fun concept. Everyone was talking about being able to play the villain in Resident Evil for years. Here's the problem with that. It has no matchmaking balance. You can decide, I want to play this survivor because I haven't played them before, so I can try out their skills. You're level 1. The mastermind could be level 500. Maxed monsters, maxed mastermind, perfect cards, max skills, and you're sitting over there with the basic stuff. There's no matchmaking balance. Making matters worse from that, not only is there no matchmaking balance, there's no anti-cheat system.
So is this you saying that this was like basically like a cash grab like most mobile games have formulated?
Yes. Resident Evil 3 is a AAA game, is a mobile game disguised as a AAA game, but it has nothing worth it.
Oh,
if you go to the Resident Evil 3 Steam page right now, this is what you get. $59.99 buys you the game. You get Resistance for free, quote unquote. And if you ignore the problems of no matchmaking and no anti-cheat, you're left with a fun concept Dead by Daylight styled game. But then everything
sounds like it's hardly worth it.
I mean, it's multiplayer. It's fun. That's what people wanted, right? No, it's actually not. Majority of the Resident Evil fans wanted Outbreak, or they just wanted 3 with the Mercenaries mode and be fine.
Now you're asking for too much.
Clearly, but Resident Evil 2 did everything right. But I mean, then everything goes out the window. From there, it's a petty cash grab because they know people like us
are gonna buy it.
Are gonna buy it every single time. Like, so here's what you can get. All right, I finally got War of the Visions booted up, so we can get back on our main track. And I'm sorry for segueing so bad.
Well, I mean, once you're done with that, I want to segue into another mobile game that has been very successful, and not only that, succeeded where another mobile game that's extremely similar to it failed.
So I'm not gonna go with because they've got like discounted packages. I'm going to ignore the discounted packages. Okay. I'm going to go to the largest package they have in War of the Visions. Okay. It is. Oh, and by the way, there is a difference in this game, which also pisses me off. There's a difference between paid Viswar, which is what it's called in this game, and free Viswar. And there are better, higher rated roll the roll buttons. There are ones with higher percentage chances for the paid Viswar only.
It's a pay to win.
And you don't even win because it's still not a guarantee. So, crap.
I mean,
it's a mobile game and it wants to patch like every 5 seconds. So, I mean, you're going to have to bear with me. So, okay. So, the biggest bundle is 10,000. I'm not even going to go with their. It's one of those ones where it's like, oh, you pay for this amount and you get this much free. No, it's 10,000 Viswar. Okay. It's patching again. I patched the game to get into the game, and now I'm patching the store to get into the store. I hate mobile games.
See, I mean, there's a mobile. Never mind.
I'm sorry. I was just like, I want to play a mobile game to kill time and relax, not patch it every 5 minutes. It's not Ark Survival Revolve.
Yeah, no. I mean, like I said, the other mobile game I mentioned, Fire Emblem Heroes, it doesn't patch every freaking. I mean, some of the load times are a bit long, but they don't last very long. It's just like, okay, that's a bit of annoyance.
Well, and if you've loaded it once, it's not as bad later.
Yeah. But there is one mobile game that I've been playing for a while, and I think it was heavily advertised, and it was the first time. The first time I left my old home prior to this, and I found it and downloaded and tried it, and I'm so glad that I did because it's called Azure Lane. So,
I played Azure Lane for like 5 minutes.
Oh no, I freaking love Azure Lane. Like everyone, like a few people I knew said it was like a Kantai collection clone. The thing is that it succeeded where it failed because it decided to appeal to an overseas market. And now pretty much Azure Lane has completely blown Kantai collection out of the water, got its own anime. I don't know what else they're doing, but the game is still going strong. I freaking love the game personally.
I played Kantai collection too, but we never got a mobile game. It was Japan only.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the reason why Azure Lane succeeded where Kantai collection failed. I mean, is Kantai collection good? I don't know. I've only watched the anime. It was somewhat entertaining. It's just that, again, the Japanese are starting to realize that, I think it's like probably like in 2010 that they have a huge freaking market here in the Western world. I mean, it's still a pain because of those import taxes.
Ugh.
But it's crazy how Azure Lane has been widely successful, and they did like crossover things going on with the Hyperdimension Neptunia series. They did a crossover with World of Warships where you can get like skins for your ships where you either earn them or buy them.
Which is still pretty legit, to be fair.
Yeah, no, it is. I don't know if Kantai Collection got as far as doing a crossover with World of Warships. I mean, last time I checked, I don't think so.
All right.
Or any crossover into any other mobile game.
What, the Kantai collection?
Yeah, or they got a crossover with some other anime series. I don't know. I'm not saying they haven't.
I don't know about other anime, but I can't remember the game. It was another mobile game, but the Kantai collection did get like a crossover alongside Girls and Panzer. So they did get one. Yes, it's just it wasn't like this super standout one.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I'm a big fan of Girls and Panzer. I just never knew that they did a crossover with Kantai. Maybe, like you said, it's probably just a Japanese thing. But I know Azur Lane, they had a Hyperdimension Neptunia crossover where you can get, Neptune, Noir, Blanc, Vert, and and their CPU forms as ship girls, but again, they were nothing special. It's just like, oh, hey, I got this, and it's just an interesting thing. You could probably never get it again, depending on when they decide to drop something like that. I unfortunately missed that event.
That sucks.
It does.
Okay, so I'm in the store, okay, for Brave Exvius, so I can explain this properly, and then I'll jump over to Record Keeper as an example. So just looking at your regular all the time there draw tab, it costs 2,000 Viswar to summon 10. The biggest package you can buy has 10,000 in it. The drop rate,
5 drops.
You get 5 drops for a 2% chance at an ultra rare with repeatables. There is no repeat protection. Because when you roll a repeat, you get resources that will be able to rank up the character you have. So there is no repeat protections in this type of game. That's $100.
Yeah. That's
5 drops for 5 10 rolls with absolutely 0 guarantees.
Oh.
That then is Brave Exvius' War of the Visions monetization.
That's pretty abysmal.
Yeah. As an example, the average, well, I guess the nearest example for like Fate was 5 stars, a 5-star character.
Mm-hmm.
The average drop
Fate
chance
is 5.
Yeah, the average drop chance for a 5-star from a regular pull was slightly worse, but it was cheaper to pull. Like, I think the collective chance of getting a 5-star was actually higher. There were just more 5 stars in the pool, so the individual chance per character was like lower.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
There was also no repeat protection in that because you get repeats of the character and you can make that one stronger. But you're still talking about like a 5% chance collectively to get a 5-star. Whereas the collective chance in War of the Visions was barely 2%. But for $100 in Fate, you could draw twice as much as in War of the Visions. Star Ocean Anamnesis, which I miss. I liked that game. I love that game. I had every character available, including the near characters, for the limited time.
They give that game the X or something?
Mm-hmm. It's dead.
Yeah.
They killed it. They killed it and one more Final Fantasy mobile game. They killed that, and it was 3 games total. They killed Star Ocean, they killed another Final Fantasy game that hadn't come out yet, and they canceled a third mobile game, and I can't remember which one it was.
Speaking about mobile games that are
War of the Visions, by the way.
Speaking about giving mobile games the X, there is a mobile game, and they've been cock teasing their fans because when they said like, "Oh, our game is not successful. We're gonna shut down the servers and everything," and the fans like took to Facebook and probably Twitter and other social media platforms as well, freaking out, saying like, "Oh man, I put in so much money into the game. I invested so much time." It's a Madoka Magica Magia record.
That was complicated.
They have been postponing its shutdown for a while, and they said, "Oh, thanks to the reception of the fans, that we're going to extend it." But once we finally shut down the servers, we're going to have this other part of the game where you can download, so you can look at your progress and maybe replay some of the events or something stupid like that. And people are freaking out, and they're saying, "Are you going to shut down the servers or not?" I briefly played because I was a Madoka Magica. I'm a Madoka Magica fan. I've read spin-off mangas. I've watched the anime and the movies. But the game was the mobile game was another like cash grab, and I wasn't willing to spend the money, which I didn't. And I saved up all. I saved up all of my shit, like all the fucking. I think they were called gems, to where you can summon. And I wanted to summon my favorite magical girl, which is Kyoko Sakura, anime series, which she is in. And I saved up all the gems because I knew she was coming. And then when the event finally came, it said, "Oh, by the way, you have to purchase X amount of gems. They have to be purchased, not given for free. You have to purchase these gems in order to get this summons." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" So there was like a wall that completely blocked it until you made that purchase. I'm like, it's just no big surprise that they plan on shutting the servers down for this mobile game because their monetization was just garbage.
Oh yeah. So I'm in Record Keeper right now, and the monetization has changed from when I first started playing. Okay, so I've played Record Keeper from launch, and I think Nikki had too. And there's a bunch of different types of relic draws, as an example. Okay, since you don't draw characters, you draw relics. Some of them are limited time. Sometimes the loot pool's huge. Sometimes the loot pool's small. So you got to remember, the more items you add into the pool, the less chance of you getting the highest one, as an example, right? I'm looking at this one. It is gem exclusive, which is the paid currency. And by the way, this game throws mithril at you like you wouldn't believe, and that's what you use to roll for everything. I have never, as an example, I have never put money into Record Keeper. I have every character. I have 8-star equipment for some of my characters, and I've not put in a dime. This one I clicked. This is a gem exclusive. It is a one-time roll only. There are like 20 8-star items. There's more than 20. Holy crap. There are a lot. I'm just going to go with a lot. I'm not even going to bother trying to count. I'm still scrolling, okay? I'm scrolling through these 8 stars. I just now finished scrolling through them. That's how many there were. That was like a solid 5 seconds of scrolling on a phone screen. It costs 3,000 gems to roll an 11 pull, with a guaranteed of always having one or more 5-star ranked item in the pool. Guaranteed 5-star or higher. For the 8-star items, there are so many. There is a 0.6% chance of pulling an 8-star. A 10% chance. A 10% chance. Oh, it's a 7-star. Sorry. 7, 8. You get the idea. It's a high ranked item. It's very powerful once you max it out and you put it on the right character. Yeah. It's even stronger. 10% chance for a 6-star. There's so many. It's only a 4% chance for a 5-star, a 25% chance for 4 stars, and a 61% chance for 3 stars because they're trash items. You're gonna turn into materials anyway. Let's face it.
Yeah, I mean it's bound to happen.
Yes, but in this situation, it's almost always something that will benefit you. You'll either get an item you want, or you'll get trash that you can use to make that item stronger if you do get it. It costs 3,000 to roll, with a 0.6% chance to get a 7-star item. The largest package of gems you can purchase is 9,500 for $85.
Jesus.
In a game that I haven't played in months, just logged in, and they threw 30 free mithril at me. And for an 11 pull, it costs 50 mithril. So with my party currently equipped, who are all level 99, who all have a minimum of 6-star equipment or higher, this game's monetization practices are significantly better.
That's not too bad.
Than War of the Visions. And again, me talking is that I've never put money into Record Keeper, at least not more than once. And it certainly wasn't $85.
I never put money, like I said, I never put money into Azure Lane, and Azure Lane has treated me well with giving me some nice stuff here and there. It may not be exactly what I want, but hey, they give me something.
Like Star Ocean Anamnesis, before it disappeared, I never put money into it. And I got every single character. I didn't have all of their weapons. I didn't have like all of their equipment that was exclusive for them that would make them specifically stronger. But I didn't put money into Star Ocean. And, you know, that somebody will point out in the comments eventually, and it's like, well, that's the problem. You never put money into the game you loved. You have to make people love the game to put money into it. You can't just release a game and just expect people to throw money at your face because it has the name in it.
I mean, do you really have to put money into a free-to-play game and still be, like, somewhat confident in it? Like I said, especially, I know I'm going back to Azure Lane a lot, because I have, like, literally 3 mobile games. Fire Emblem Heroes, Azure Lane, and Among Us. That's all I have.
Okay.
But like I said, like, you don't have to put money into a free-to-play game. I mean, yes, does it help support them? Of course. But there is a way that you could still play for free and have, if you want to be competitive, make a competitive team. It's just you're going to have to put a lot more time and effort and grind the hell out of the game in order to get to be successful. I mean,
there are plenty of free games that are an example. I mean, World of Tanks is an example. I have a love-hate relationship with this game, including the mobile version Blitz. I've put money into World of Tanks. I've not put money into Blitz, but I've put money into World of Tanks. Do I need to? Absolutely not. I can get by just fine with stuff I can get in the game. Have I put money into World of Tanks? Yes. Why? Because I enjoyed it. I wanted to support it, and I wanted something that was interesting. Yeah. Do you need to put money into War Thunder as an example? No. You can get by just fine with just the stuff that you can get in the game. People put in money when they want to support something because they believe it's going somewhere. Why do mobile games die so often? Because they don't get funding. Why do a lot of mobile games not get funding from their fans? Because the fans are basically expecting you people to kill it off the second you either don't make money or make money. Who's going to put money into a game that's going to die? Especially if you're people like me who have put an ungodly amount of money into a single game, only to watch it die.
One game I like them, Duel Links. I don't know if you play Yu-Gi-Oh at all.
I used to.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links was pretty good. And enjoyed that. I didn't put $1 into that, but I did want to talk more about Star Ocean though, because I know you played it. I did want to try.
I loved it.
I just recently got into Star Ocean, so I was a little late to the party. So I wanted you to probably maybe go in a little depth on Star Ocean, and because
like Star Ocean in terms of just like gameplay and monetization was like way better than Fate, which was out around the same time. They weren't that much older than each other, if I remember correctly. Difference. I've watched people drop hundreds, thousands of dollars into Fate and get nothing, and I've watched people put nothing into Fate and get everything. And same thing with Star Ocean. Monetization was there. Wasn't the greatest, wasn't the best, didn't approve of some of the prices. I got by just fine without actually having to pay them money. It was semi live action gameplay. You could tell your characters to just do whatever the hell they wanted, or you could control one specific character with free switching in between them and move them around. You could attack, you could use skills. Like, the graphics were beautiful, the movement, the gameplay itself was great, the story itself was interesting. Like, why are these people from different points of time in the Star Ocean universe talking to each other? Science, magic, somewhere combination between. It was a really, really fun game for what it was worth. It had an interesting storyline. It had a gimmick to it, because not every game has to have a gimmick to survive, and sometimes the gimmick can hurt you really, really badly. Star Ocean just had gameplay that was slightly unlike most mobile games. You still had the constraints of, you have a limited amount of energy, which means you can do so many missions in a day, or you have to pay, which bothers me to no end. I just want to beat the game. And so, I mean, it flowed rather well. It was generous with its free currencies. It was generous with the stamina, because it was one of the games that could overflow stamina, like Brave Exvius or Record Keeper. And that is like, when you spent stamina to go into a mission, but if you leveled up, it would restore 100% of your stamina.
Wow.
But it overflowed. So if you had 50 stamina left and you spent 20 and then leveled up, you have 80 stamina. And if you leveled up shortly after that, and your stamina would increase in capacity when you leveled up. So, like, I think I quit Brave Exvius with like 400 spare stamina.
Oh.
So it wasn't like a super, super terrible thing. And it was, I love Star Ocean, and my favorite one is Star Ocean 3.
Till the end of time?
Till the End of Time. It is by far my favorite one. I think it's an absolutely beautiful game. And if anyone's after a really good Star Ocean game to try out for the first time, it is definitely one I recommend.
Juggling that First Departure R and Last Hope. I'm actually really enjoying Last Hope. I'm enjoying To the End of Time too. But to back up with mobile games, another game that was very generous to me was I played Bleach Brave Souls. That and Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. Those two games, I don't know if you like them or not. They're really weird. Actually, Brave Souls is a pretty fun game, but Dokkan Battle was really generous for me. Like, I would get like top draws and pulls. I wouldn't play the game for months. I'd go in, I'd get a bunch of Dragon Stones, and I'd pull the SSJ2 legendary Gohan. It was crazy.
Nice.
I mean, I didn't try either of those. I did try to play the Dragon Quest mobile game, and I just
I like it. I have fun with it. I got rid of it though to play more of the Visions.
I got rid of it. I didn't find anything particularly engaging. It might it might be slightly possible because I didn't like super get into the Dragon Quest games after the first 3. So I mean,
I love them. I love them as much as I love Final Fantasy. That's the problem. I just rather I want to be able to unlock characters. If you're gonna let me unlock armor, I want to be able to unlock characters too. I don't want a made up character for like a game like that and have to give him armor and unlock armor. I want to be able to like unlock Yangus or unlock other characters from the franchise. That was my problem with it.
There's something similar in like Sino Alice from Yoko Taro, the guy who made the Nier series.
Yep.
I tried it. I love Nier Automata, and it's an absolutely beautiful game for anyone who hasn't played it yet. But like Sino Alice, and like the cost for some of the pools and just the rates, they weren't justifiable to me. I mean, Fortnite, and I loathe complimenting those pricks.
Fortnite?
I'm a founder in Fortnite, and if anyone knows half the stuff that's gone on that's ruined Fortnite, they know that the founders are basically people who are built to be pitied.
I just picked up his new mobile game. I gotta try it though. I should have played it way before this episode, but the Shin Megami Tensei mobile game.
I looked into that one. I didn't. My thing is that if you really want people to play your mobile game and to enjoy your mobile game, your monetization making sense has to be the first thing you do, because otherwise I'm just going to do the exact same thing I did with most of my mobile games and deleted them and bought Castlevania Symphony of the Night and Final Fantasy VI again.
I would like a nice Castlevania game in the regards to like a Record Keeper or like a Brave Exvius.
Well, they had one and then they killed it.
To go back what Sleepy just mentioned, another thing that would make a mobile game live is that it has to be a good time killer, because for a while now, like every time I'm at work and we got nothing to do and we're just waiting to get released, is we play Among Us. It's an excellent time killer. Excellent time killer. As we're hurrying up and wait and say, hey, y'all are good to go home for the night. And we're just sitting down here playing Among Us, doing nothing, as if we had anything to do to begin with. I just really want to emphasize this in case if there are any, mavericks out there that want to make a mobile game. Intent, take notes, make it a good time killer, for goodness sake.
Like people usually don't play mobile games for engaging. People usually play mobile games because they're bored out of their skulls and they want something to do for 5 seconds.
Or while they wait, like, because sometimes we will be waiting for hours, for absolutely nothing, just to say, hey, be here at this time, at this day, go home. For just something as simple as that.
I play my Switch more mobile than I do. I probably hooked up my Switch to the TV once. I should have got a Switch.
That is a big difference.
Did it?
Huge.
But
there's a big difference between handheld consoles and handheld gaming.
Oh, of course.
Because
something like between like a DS and a cell phone, you're saying, right?
Yeah. Like Switch is its own monster. It cannot even begin to be compared to
cell phone,
a mobile.
I mean,
it's impossible.
Oh yeah,
you got Elder Scrolls Blades or whatever the hell it's called.
Hell
that game
no,
wasn't that good though.
He said nope.
Terrible.
I refuse. That and Diablo Immortal. I refuse.
I actually tried. Actually, legitimately gave this game a try. It was was somewhat new. It was a Digimon mobile game, and it was utter garbage.
Shame. I gave it a try for 5 seconds. I
gave it a try for like 5 minutes, and I regret it.
The Gundam Build Fighters mobile game is actually not terrible. It's very similar in gameplay to Star Ocean.
Oh, see, I'm a huge Gundam fan, and I tried that game. It just like I don't know.
Because
it
it's
got
in the
old.
Build universe that it's not the same. Like the best Gundam game, and I'm saying this straight up, ignoring the Dynasty Warriors Gundam games, which are actually quite cool. Here's the absolute most terrible thing I can say, and everyone who's played it will cringe because they know it's true. The absolute best Gundam game that was released in the West was Mobile Suit Gundam Capsule Fighter SD.
Oh, you're talking about that online game?
The one with the SD mobile fighter, and you had to roll the capsules to get different units. Yeah.
Yes.
I loved that game.
Shit.
I put money into that game, and it died. It hurt my feelings so badly.
I played that game briefly, and I was just like, I got stuck with some of the most cheapest shit ever, and I got my ass handed to me by some dude who's been playing for God knows how long. I was
Might have been me.
I don't know. It was well into its popularity back in the day.
To be fair, its popularity was not very long lived, and the game died shortly after it reached its zenith point.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying, like, I played it, and I was like, people are like way off, and I'm just a new guy, and there's like these veterans sitting down here just whooping my ass, and I'm like, oh no. My opinion, the best Gundam game I've played, and it was released just recently, is Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operations 2, which is an online game. It's a third-person shooter. It's so fun. Like, it's great.
That one didn't tickle my fancy. I've got to say it. The one
I loved it.
There is a Gundam game that I want to come out, which I know will never come out in the West, is Mobile Suit Gundam Online.
Oh yeah, no.
With a full 64v64 Mobile Suit gameplay.
The reason why I like Battle Operations 2 is because it has strictly Universal Sentry only, and I am a huge Universal Sentry Nazi. I love the Universal Sentry timeline, period. Like, all the other timelines in all the other Gundam series, like, some of those other timelines are good, but it doesn't beat Universal Sentry. I'm sorry. I'm just a Universal Sentry guy.
I loved like the Gundam Wing, the After Colony timeline.
Yeah.
But I loved the original Mobile Suit Gundam. I loved Gundam Unicorn.
Oh yeah, no, Gundam Unicorn, the OVA, not the fucking shortened bullshit.
Okay.
OVAs that were released to Toonami. I'm talking about the original hour-and-a-half long OVAs were amazing. And I remember first discovering it, and the first four episodes were, I think it was either the first three or first four, and I was like getting excited. Like, man, when's the next one coming up? And then it just kept going and going, and I would get excited, and then narrative came out. Like, Unicorn Gundam narrative was okay, but it couldn't hold a candlestick to Unicorn Gundam. But when it comes to my personal favorite, of all time, my favorite series out of every single series is Zeta Gundam. That's my favorite.
My biggest problem with a lot of the Universal Sentry main characters is, like, Amuro at the very beginning was a useless, whiny bitch.
Like Shinji.
The main character of Zeta at the beginning and near the end, a useless, whiny bitch. Their biggest advantage was the fact that they could pilot the Gundams. The double Zeta character.
The Zeta Gundam.
The what?
He also designed the Zeta. He was like the original designer of the Zeta Gundam, and they took his blueprints and constructed it. So basically, Camille is even though he's a whiny. I'm not disagreeing with you that he's a little whiny pansy boy that got into fights constantly. But he was somewhat instrumental in how mobile suit technology became the way it was all the way up to the Unicorn timeline.
Yeah, but I mean, so was Amuro Ray, to be fair, when he designed the new Gundam.
I want to.
Yeah, because he created the Psycho Frame system. That was like the problem with the Psycho system is that it didn't last long. Like it didn't last as long as the Wave Rider modes, because what the Earth Federation kept trying to do is they tried to mass produce the Zeta Gundam, but it was too expensive. And they finally kind of did it with the Rezels and Unicorn Gundam, but it was like a mixture of the Zeta Gundam and the Methus, which made the production significantly cheaper, but not what the Federation had in mind.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a government organization complaining about.
They're always going to go to the cheapest bidder. That's the thing.
Yeah. And I know we've gone off topic. It's easy to segue when you're complaining about certain things because you just watch how certain groups handle it, and you're just like, no, you're terrible. Like maybe Konami handling the Castlevania franchise. You're just terrible, aren't you?
Maybe we'll have a little a dedicated Gundam episode someday.
We could probably talk for years about Gundam and how poorly that Bandai Namco handles Gundam, if we're being fair.
Especially with the Build series.
Well, the original Build series was like a fun little
OVA.
A fun little take. Like,
yeah. It was basically a commercial. It was a commercial with kind of a plot.
Hey, commercials with plot exist.
I know. I'm just saying. It's like the Build series. It's garbage, but it's a guilty pleasure for me.
Well, because it combines like multiple series. Like, there's UC in
After Colony, Future Colony,
everything.
Cosmic Era, everything.
The After Future parts. I mean, it's got everything.
Yeah.
A bit, but it's like silly and wholesome, and the main character is a whiny.
It's basically the Yu-Gi-Oh of Gundam. That's what I've always said. The Build Divers, the Build series, and the original 3 Build OVA episodes that they had, and it was just like
it's the Yu-Gi-Oh of Gundam after Yugi was no longer the main character.
Pretty much.
Like, it's terrible versus the thing we know and love, but you still watch it because you're going to sit there and be like, you're adorable.
Exactly.
Like, you're absolutely terrible.
I think we need to stop segueing into this. We gotta save this for another time.
Like, there's just way too much we could talk about on.
Oh yeah.
On Gundam or Yu-Gi-Oh or anything like that. It's just it's the reason it's so easy to segue into topics like this is because this topic and mobile gaming have a lot in common. We both love the source material, and we're severely disappointed in all of you.
It's just like you just sit there in the corner and you just shake your head. It's like, what were you thinking?
It's like, I know you mean well, but you're terrible.
Exactly. Like I said, what were you thinking?
Speaking of terrible, I wanted to talk about games that we badly wanted to be good that were absolutely terrible.
This is basically every single game we've talked about
so far.
No, but I mean games that you so badly wanted to, for me.
Okay,
I want it to be amazing.
I do have a game. It is not, surprisingly enough, is not a mobile game. It is the 2015 Star Wars Battlefront game that was straight up garbage. It was an incomplete game with no story mode. Just as like it's a glorified free to play online game that I literally gave it a chance, and I'm so disappointed in myself that I had it for as long as I did.
That was somehow still significantly worse than the 2000 whatever PS2
I mean, it was
versions.
EA. I don't put any faith
I
in
mean,
EA anymore.
see, here's the thing. They show their age, but yet they've aged better than fucking the 2015 versions.
You can still go on Steam and play the original Battlefront 2. And
I have it on Steam, and I played it.
Why? Yeah, I mean, it's aged terribly, but I mean, it's balanced.
It doesn't look good at all compared to today's standards, but hell, it's still significantly better than a game that was released 10 years after it.
Yeah, like, I mean, in the Battlefront 2 with the whole loot box situation, that was disgusting.
Oh, God. Oh, don't get me started on that. Terrible campaign that was disappointing as hell.
I didn't even play it. And then mobile game-styled monetization.
Yes. And everyone was just... And people... It was a pay-to-win from the word go. And it's just like, oh, yeah, we're going to change that, but you get to keep all your stuff. And then you have these people who are, like, super overpowered versus the people who didn't spend any money and said, nah, we ain't going to pay, but we'll play it anyways, which was this guy right here. And I'm sitting down here, like, man, this game is terribly unbalanced.
And then
I am getting lit the hell up.
And then they got sued because of somebody paid like an ungodly amount of money to max out Darth Vader. I think is what happened. Like he maxed out Darth Vader, and then they nerfed Darth Vader, and he sued them or something.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine if that was successful.
No, he won.
No way.
Yes, he won. They did the same thing with World of Tanks with the Type 59, if you remember that. There was a massive controversy about significantly altering or weakening content that somebody paid money for.
You can legitimately win a case like that.
It depends on where you're at. Because in the US, not so likely. Much. But in Europe, where consumer protection laws are a lot, I'm not going to say stronger because that's not true. Different. But yeah, that's why when companies start nerfing like the premium items, the premium content, they're more careful. And they generally do like blanket rebalances or nerfs because if they specifically focus on one item too much, it tends to get them in trouble. Hands.
Okay, so here's another game that I legitimately tried without playing. It was basically dead on arrival, and I think Sweepy might know. I don't know if
there's a high chance.
Kid Kupo may not know.
Which one?
You almost called me Koopa.
What one?
I was almost dead. I just called you Kid.
Just call me Koopa.
I did? Wow, holy shit.
Koopa Troopa.
Kupo here is Battlefield 5.
I
don't know, Battlefield.
Don't get me started on that game.
I never played it. I said I tried to give it a chance, and I never played it. And I knew it was garbage. I pre-ordered it, and then I canceled it, and I got my $5 back. And I put that $5 into another game that I pre-ordered, which was Ace Combat 7. I love that game.
No.
5.
Battlefield 5. Yeah, I did. I tried to give it a chance. Like I said, I tried to give it a chance without playing. And I pre-ordered it, but I canceled it, and GameStop graciously allow me to transfer that $5 into another game that pre-ordered, which, like I said, it was Ace Combat 7.
Oh, trust me, it's not gracious. Those pricks have a no return policy or no refund policy on pre-orders, but they do have store credit options if you're changing a pre-order. So
yeah, well, I mean, I'm saying, yeah, that was pretty. I mean, they could have told me.
They could have just told you to go yourself.
Yeah, they could have told me to kick rocks instead. But again, I had $10 into Ace Combat 7, which, by the way, I love that game. Great game. The Ace Combat series is a great game.
Depends on if you liked it or not. I mean, if you weren't a fan of Ace Combat to begin with, you're probably not going to be a fan of Ace Combat 6. But no, my statement being is that Battlefield 5 was handled poorly, and that's after the absolute glowing success of Battlefield 1.
Yeah, no, Battlefield 1 was great. I like that. I hated the loot system that they had.
But the loot system also wasn't like super unfair though. So like it was
it was mostly cosmetics.
It was all cosmetics.
Yeah. But in Battlefield 5, like holy crap, the PR handling on that was just straight up garbage.
No, and then the first trailer alone told you everything you needed to know. And you know what? I would have been fine with the cosmetics, but it was just so Michael Bay, and I hate that he's an insult now.
Yeah.
But like, if anyone remembered the trailer for Battle,
I remember the reveal trailer. It had like completely took, because I am a huge World War timeline history geek.
Same actually. That's why I was super excited.
And then I see this woman with an amputated fake arm. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
As her main arm, using a sniper rifle.
Not just using a sniper rifle, but she was also using a Thompson too.
Yeah, and a cricket.
We're running out of time, so we gotta finish up.
No, it's just if everyone remembered the trailer for Battlefield 1 with the Seven Nation Army theme playing and the Zeppelin at the end, that was awesome.
It was incredible. It was amazing.
Gameplay of Battlefield 1 wasn't the most balanced, wasn't like the greatest in the world at all, but like the gritty, dark feeling of World War 1 was there, and holy crap, it was good. Battlefield 5?
It was a joke. It was a
joke. In every. It
was just as dark, if not darker, than World War 1. I mean, like the multiplayer, like the multiplayer in Battlefield 1 still had that gritty, dark feeling to it. But Battlefield 5, it feels like a World War 2 version of Fortnite.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what I want in my World War 2 games. And not only that, there's one thing I hate about modern day World War II games is that they censor my Nazis swastikas. If you're going to depict historical events, depict them accurately with freaking swastikas, because that's what happened.
And also, unlike Call of Duty World War II, which failed just as miserably, depict them, show the terribleness, show the horror, the gritty, the things you don't like, show them. But do it.
These wars are supposed to make you uncomfortable.
Accurately. Do history accurately.
Yes,
don't have. I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm just saying it's just like, don't, like, I'm calling out Call of Duty and Activision right now. Don't have SS troops with cheap ass Volkssturmgewehrs, which are sheet metal wood pieces of crap.
The Volkssturmgewehrs.
Don't give me. There's no way to say this. Do not give me colored Nazi Schutzstaffel officers with cheap garbage weaponry on the freaking beaches of Normandy.
There were colored SS like enlisted and commissioned officers, but like you said, they weren't nowhere near the beaches of Normandy.
Not lieutenants, not colonels.
No.
Were there everyone in the Schutzstaffel? Yes, everyone and anyone they could use. Were they people who could give orders or mobilize troops or command tanks? Unlikely.
No, they were probably like I said, they were probably like lower enlisted, lower non-commissioned officers, or like very basic junior commissioned officers, just to like handle platoons and whatnot. While
were there exceptions? Of course, but no SS officer I know of used cheap stamp metal equipment that they'd give to conscripts.
Yeah, they gave them to the partisans, which is hence why Volkssturmgewehr, like Volks, is German for people.
Yeah, or
common man,
or Volksgrenadiers, or the Volks infantry. The partisans or the conscripts, the ones they forced to join their army. And also
the latter years.
Don't censor the Nazis because they're Nazis. Show them in all of their horrible, inglorious selves, but don't depict everyone in the Wehrmacht as a freaking Nazi either. That's the other thing that they keep getting wrong. Like the Wehrmacht,
the Kriegsmarine, and the Luftwaffe.
But the Wehrmacht was the whole military. The army had their own name.
Oh yeah, the Heer. I think that's the army.
Yeah, the Heer, the Luftwaffe, and the Kriegsmarine. Most of those guys hated the Nazis too.
They hated the SS with a passion because
all of them did.
In order to be a part of the SS, you had to drink the Hitler Kool-Aid without a shadow of a doubt. There had to be no room for doubt at all.
Oh no! There were several who were in the SS who didn't believe in the Führer at all. They wanted power.
That was like the supposed guideline.
They provided. You had to provide a substantial benefit to the Reich.
Oh yeah.
If you weren't a true believer. I mean, you honestly believe that the head of his propaganda unit or the supernatural unit, the occult unit, were true believers?
I don't know anything about that part of the SS.
But I mean, the Wehrmacht as a whole were not believers. There were
they weren't.
Believers, yes.
Oh no, I'm just saying the SS, not the Wehrmacht. No, the SS.
I know. I'm just saying this. Like, there's too many modern World War II games that try to depict like all of the German military complicit or just as bad or
complicit and completely obedient to the party.
Yeah, and the majority of them hated the party. They fought because they loved Germany or they were afraid for their families, which are both fair. It's like not everyone.
The other reason too was to fight Bolshevism as well.
Well, that's because even though they were socialists, communism was worse, and they wanted communism to die too.
Which is a lot of them joined the Wehrmacht for that reason. They because when you have
time. We're always out of time, man. We went into a history lesson. That's how bad we segued.
Damn it.
Anything you guys want to add before we close up?
I think we've added way too much.
No, things I wanted to add. If you want your mobile game to be good, don't have BS, crap, garbage, expensive, low-rolled monetization. You want people to put money in your game? Make your game first. Then we'll put money into the game.
Exactly.
And make it a good time killer.
Yeah, like I said, make it a good game first. Then we'll put money into your game.
Exactly.
That's all, folks. We will see you guys next week. Actually, I'll see you guys tomorrow with our special guest. But we'll have a regular episode next week.
Ooh. All right. Have a good night.
Kid Kupo out.